What's going on, everybody? This is Daniel Harms with the RGR Football Channel, here to talk to you about another draft prospect the Chiefs could take in the first round at 30. As you can tell, I'm wearing my Michigan hat today. It's because we are talking about Daxton Hill, safety slash slot corner slash free safety slash strong safety out of Michigan. A guy who has a very wide variety of outcomes, in my personal opinion, and where he can play in the NFL level. A ton of different talents, a ton of different places that he lined up, that he played at Michigan, and in a defense that has a lot of different responsibilities, trying to do a lot more of what the Ravens had done in terms of mixing up your coverages, making sure you can play man zone, you blitz these corners and these safeties a lot. That's one thing that showed up on his tape a lot, is they liked to blitz him. They also used him as a zone and man defender a lot, especially specifically at slot corner. He was tasked to play much bigger guys, maybe a little bit faster than he is in man coverage, maybe more technical as well. So I liked to see that on his tape. There are some things to look at that aren't the best things. We're going to talk about most of the good things, some of the bad things that I did see on his film, but why he's going to probably drop down draft boards. I think that a lot of NFL executives and scouts and things like that note that he played the majority of his time at slot corner at Michigan, which could be a bit of a problem for his draft stock. If you remember, L'Jarius Sneed played safety his last year instead of corner. That plummeted him from probably a second-round draft pick to a fourth-round draft pick. So we're talking about a guy who could go in the first round, might end up going into the second round if the Chiefs end up letting Tyrann Mathieu go. I do think that Daxton Hill is a potential option at safety slash slot corner that can really open up what they do defensively, because he does play that type of role. And you're going to see right off the bat in the film review what I'm talking about with communication and being able to line guys up and pass wide receivers off and take responsibility where they go. So let's go ahead and jump into the tape so we can really get a good idea of what Daxton Hill brings to the table. Because I know a lot of people have asked to see his tape, and I'm one of the people that have watched him all season as a Michigan fan. So getting to actually break down the film and selectively look at him individually has been really, really awesome. So let's go ahead and get in. The first thing we're going to talk about, like I said, is the communication aspect. So here he is playing as a safety. This is not the majority of his tape. It is definitely more of an outlier in terms of what he does. The single high deep safety in this look, but you're going to see him communicate, okay, right off the bat. Communicate. Let's say, look, hand gestures over. This is it. This is everything right here. You want to see this, okay? Understanding zone concepts and players coming across face, okay? So you have two players coming across here, basically like a deep crossing pattern. So Hill notifies himself that this receiver is going to be coming up to him, okay? Coming across his face. And you have a corner here. So why not just pass him off, okay? So he's going to gesture to his outside corner. Look, he's coming your way. Just take him, okay? Easy does it, right? Get the point across. Go over there. I'll take this guy who's coming across my face. Makes things easier on him, and it makes things easier on the defense as a whole. Now, this was also a problem at Michigan, was late communication. Like this ball, luckily they have a defender down here, but because he's rolling, the quarterback's rolling out, so you have guys widening a little bit here. But this could have been a very easy completion for a better quarterback, okay? Because you have your corner turning around. But again, Daxton Hill communicating, part of the process, okay? What he does here, you can see the hip flip. He has excellent hips. I think that his hip sync and his acceleration, his back pedal is good as well. Again, all things fluid, being able to change directions is very important as a safety and a slot corner, as we all know. So again, he's a very, very good athlete. I'm interested to see how he's going to test at the combine. Like I said, most of his tape is in the slot, so you're going to see him down here again, and we're going to go through his play and break it down, because that's the best way to do it. I think we found being a little bit more physical. And again, here doesn't actually, like, look at this. This is a great play. Just overall, like, you're going to see him jab right here. I like a corner slash safety who's a little bit more physical, is going to get in your face a little bit and be someone who's going to jab you. And then he realizes, okay, you're going across. I got to look for someone coming to the flat. So as they call this, that hook defender, typically your receiver, if he stays on the outside here, you're going to go with him. But as he's crumbing across his face, he passes him off and then looks for the running back into the flat. Okay, your responsibilities change as a zone defender. So you can see here, boom, transitions downhill. Okay, stays with the the running back until the quarterback comes out and then ends up making the tackle. All that change of direction, right? He's going inside, he's coming outside, he's coming down, he's going up, and he's coming back down to the quarterback. Like, this is all a lot of things you like to see from a guy who can also play safety, not just slot corner, and sitting in your zone properly, understanding your defensive assignments, but being able to drop as a safety. Look at his change of direction. That's why I believe that he can really play safety at a high level in the NFL. Being able to change directions like that is such an important thing in being able to play safety. Like, you have to be able to get your back pedal. You have to be able to transition downhill quickly in the run game and help support. So a lot of nice things on his tape that attribute, in my opinion, to translate to the NFL. One more time in the slot here. And I picked plays from 2 or 3 games. Like I said, I watched him all season as a Michigan fan, but I think it translates pretty well. These couple of games that he played. Again, this is where you want to see, okay? He's not going to get targeted here, but this is deep speed, okay? Showing you understanding of a couple things, okay? So what Wisconsin's trying to do, basically, is get Daxton Hill. You're trying to get him, what's that term in basketball? It always kind of comes off my picked. You're trying to get him picked. Just let the brain work a little bit. Eventually it will come. And yeah, they're trying to get him picked off to hit this wheel route, okay? That's what Wisconsin wants to do. But Hill, again, he's got his eyes here. All right? He's got his eyes on the quarterback. He's looking over here, and being able to kind of feel. The field is so important. You see, look at this. This is him trying to get picked off. He just undercuts it a little bit, and then deep speed. Shows off that deep speed, that recovery speed. All of it, fluid motion. You can see it happening as it happens, as it comes through, excuse me. And again, very, very impressive to keep eyes on the quarterback, your receiver, and then undercut that pick and get upfield. That's one thing I think is really kind of interesting on his tape, is his deep speed is much underrated, as a lot of it comes in as a slot corner, a guy who can play safety and do a lot of different things. I think he could probably play outside a little bit too, to be perfectly honest. Hill is a very, very good athlete, okay? Communication. Boom. Sitting in his zone. This is another thing. You see a lot of receivers being able to play in the blind spot of a corner, okay? What the blind spot is basically anything just behind parallel and behind the corner, okay? So you're going to see the receiver kind of try to play that blind spot and get behind him and curl over, okay? And what you see is, once again, communication, okay? Or not, that was the wrong receiver, my apologies. This is the receiver. So he passes off Jalen Reed, who I think is actually going to be a pretty good receiver in the NFL. Got some things to tune up himself. But you have this other receiver try to come behind Hill. But again, communication. Pass him off. Like, look, he's coming in front of my face. Pass him off to the linebackers in zone. That's what you need to see. And again, all of this stuff translates. Being able to understand concepts, see concepts unfold as they're happening on the field. And then transition all of that into zone coverage. Get in depth. Kind of use your peripheral vision here to see he's coming inside. Stay with him. Get your hands on him and get going. It's a very good example of what he brings, not only as a slot corner, but as a mentally gifted player. Understanding, again, defensive players weren't always the best at Michigan in terms of understanding who's going where, but you see he knows, like, boom, my responsibility, okay? So they're all trying to pass off, but that doesn't work. There's miscommunication other places, and Rita ends up getting the ball. But again, Daxton Hill getting in his depth proper, seeing that receiver is really trying to get behind him, so you get that max depth, let him try to get over you, and then you just keep with him as he moves. Boom. Perfect. Perfect transition with the hips, perfect transition with the communication, all that stuff. Very, very important as a safety / slot corner to be able to do that. So if my memory is correct, and this is a 30, this is Daxton Hill right here. No, it's not. I apologize. We'll find him. There he is. Okay. We'll see this play go through, and I'll find him again. My bad, guys. So here he is. Here he's playing safety this time. Sorry, this is a little blurry on my screen. So this is the 32, this is 30, that's Daxton Hill. And this is where, when all else fails, you got to be able to communicate. Again, communicate, gets deep, And this is where the problem is. He actually communicated that they're coming this way, and you got to watch out. So you have boom, boom, and boom. This number 5 here should have been with this receiver. Okay, that's what he needed to do. He needed to stay on him. But window dressing fakes him out, and they end up going for the deep play. But look at him making the touchdown saving play. That's what you have to do with being a safety. You have to be the last level defense. And unfortunately, he does get behind him, but he makes sure he doesn't get a touchdown. That recovery speed, the deep speed that I think is there. I think he's going to run a 4.4-ish in that area as a safety slash corner. Perfect type of speed for that. And being able to track down the receiver, make the play on his legs, because, you know, he needs his legs to be able to run to the touchdown. But again, recovery. 90% of playing defense is recovery, okay? And that's what he does here. And it's just a good showcasing of Daxton Hill, just being able to get back. If things don't work out for him, he can find ways to recover. There are some things that he doesn't execute as well, in my personal opinion, and we're going to find out a little bit of that in the tape. I'm going to talk a little bit about it off the top at the end of the film review as well. But in terms of an overall player, I think he's very good. This is where he can get in a little bit of trouble. I do think he trusts his ball skills and his recovery speed a little bit too much. You can see that he's getting too deep in his depth, okay? And too far to the outside, unless someone else is supposed to be a little bit deeper here. This could be a cover 4 look from Michigan. It looks more like man coverage to me, though, just by what this is. Maybe not. It could be cover 4. You have so many different things happening here. But again, he gets too open, okay? Right here, he's already opening, and there's nobody else here. So as a receiver, it makes sense to go hit that, okay? You have a corner here who's playing very, very conservatively outside and deep. Hit him over the middle where he can't get back, okay? He almost makes the play on this football, too, because of his recovery speed. And that's where I think he can get a little bit in trouble. And bigger receivers that can box him out can give him some trouble as well. There's a play in this game against Wisconsin. He gives up a touchdown over a perfectly placed ball over his shoulder. There's not much you can do in that sense. But here, you don't need to get so much depth specifically to the outside. Especially when you have another guy out here. He's not really going to run out, all right? It's probably not going to happen. And if it does, you communicate properly. You take the guy that comes inside, you have him pass off. Like, I think he just got a little too wanting to try and take the ball away. And sometimes that happens. On defense, you want to be able to take the ball away. You're looking for turnovers. And I think that he was trying to bait this throw, and then it ended up being just a little bit too late on the play. Like, almost makes it there. Very, very, like I said, very impressive recovery athlete. Very impressive recovery speed. But sometimes just don't let him throw the ball. Like, just don't let him throw that ball. And you'd be all right. Once again, like I said, the majority of his time here spent in the slot. Here he is, bottom of the formation. I did notice that typically when offenses came out in their 3-by-1 formations with 3 receivers, he would be in the slot, but he was on the field the majority of the time, so he could play safety and things like that. But again, blitzer, here we go, boom! That's what I like to see. He has got some real downhill click and close ability, something I really like to see him used as a blitzer. It's a really good scheme, too. You're going to have guys dropping out by Michigan, dropping out here. You bring the linebacker, and then you widen with Hutchinson, and boom, you just send Hill downhill. Perfectly, right? Send him downhill. And again, that explosion. Take away that first option, okay? And then you make the quarterback pay for holding the ball a little bit too long. He does have some legitimate wheels downhill. Like, that's some impressive stuff from Daxton Hill. I loved seeing him used as a blitzer. I think that he can be utilized even more so in the NFL in that regard. A guy like Spags, who loves to blitz his safeties in his corner, it's a guy he can really take advantage of. And really an underrated play about this is that watch Ross as he's coming in. He's going to swim around the running back to open up that lane even more. Okay. It's about being there in the moment and understanding your responsibility to get the other guy the sack. Okay. Hill is just running downhill. You're trying to get him open, and they did a great job of that. And again, speed, speed, speed. You see some more Daxton Hill in the slot. I assume anyway. Most of his plays, again, in the slot. Blitzer. This is another impressive play. Again, athleticism. He forces a turnover. Okay. He didn't get a ton of turnovers. I think he had 2 picks himself this year. But when you're creating turnovers, that's very, very important. And you can get your hands on multiple balls like he does. He's all around the football a lot. Maybe he doesn't always have the most passes defensed or anything like that. But when you can use him as a blitzer, again, that athleticism, kind of get up there and force an interception. Very, very smart player. Knows how to time things well, get his hands up, makes the quarterback throw into him, and boom, interception. Speed, speed, speed. You speed up the quarterback. You can kind of pick up on what he's doing and then make an interception. Now this is the big play from his time. Pretty much probably the biggest play that he made this year in terms of athleticism, ball tracking, all that fun stuff. So here we have, I believe this is him up here. I think, like I said, it's a little bit blurry. I'll see more as the play unfolds. Yeah, that is Daxton Hill. So here on that tight end, again, he likes to widen. He likes to widen, and he likes to make things happen. He wants to bait that quarterback into throwing the ball because you can see him just kind of open to the inside, say, "Look, you want to throw this? Please do. I have the speed to undercut it," which he does. Gets his hands on it, and then he tips it to himself. Catches it on the ground. He's going to be on this side of the screen, guys. There he is, popping into formation here. Covering the tight end, opening up. It's like, okay. And then breaks on the football. That's what he wants to do. I think he's going to have to stop doing that so much in the NFL because play speed is different there, okay? He's going to have to be better about timing that right. But I do think as a guy who has a nose for the football, you can get away with this in some circumstances. But again, look at this. That's just impressive. Being able to catch that, like we've seen receivers do this from time to time where the ball kind of fumbles around a little bit and then you can find a way to catch it, but it's very good ball tracking. It's again, instincts, baiting the quarterback to throw this football. You find a way to make it happen. He almost picks it off to begin with, but ends up getting it in the end. Very smart, fun player. Like I said, there are some things about his game that aren't great. Again, the baiting a little bit too much. He can get boxed out from time to time. I don't think he's perfect in getting off of blocks in the run game. He does have a chip on his shoulder. From what I saw, he likes to get physical with receivers. I like to see him jab a bit too. That makes me excited as a evaluator and as a guy who wants to fit this scheme to be a little bit more physical. At times you see, Rashad Fenton get more physical at the line of scrimmage. I think Daxton Hill can bring that as well. Snead, if you can just make him be an outside receiver, an outside corner, I think that plays best to the strengths of this defense. And Daxton Hill really complements what Spags wants to do in terms of he can be used as a third safety. You can have him be a starting safety alongside Juan Thornhill, in my opinion. The speed to get downhill. He's a pretty good tackler. He's not the best tackler. He does have some over pursuit issues with noticing in the run game a little bit here and there. He had some issues tracking Kenneth Walker against Michigan State, over pursuing to the outside and letting him come back inside. But all in all, he's a very good prospect that I think that would be a steal for this defense. And again, being more multiple and being able to play Daxton Hill in this defense as a corner or a safety allows them to do some things that honestly only Tyrann Mathieu can do. If you bring Tyrann Mathieu back and you can draft a guy like Daxton Hill, I think having 3 safeties who aren't really afraid to come downhill and get involved in the run game is beneficial to what they want to do in terms of turning the ball over and just playing sound Spags defense, to be honest. Like, that's what it is. And I really do like his skill set. I think he has excellent ball skills. He can track. He gets his head around in time. And all in all, very excellent, sound player that would fit exactly what they want to do. Now, where is he going to come into the draft? Again, I'm hearing a little bit that he's not going to be a first-round draft pick with front offices. That could change depending on board runs, but playing the majority of your time in the slot can hurt your draft stock a little bit. He's going to have to perform well at the combine and really show off his speed and coverage ability, ball tracking, things like that, to be able to bump up his draft stock. But I do think he's going to go in there in the second round earlier than probably mid-second round, and maybe the Chiefs look to trade back a little bit. Who knows? I'm excited to see him where he goes. I'm excited to see at the combine. I hope you guys like this film review, and we're going to do this every single week up until draft day. So you guys have a great day.
Thanks for watching this video from the team at RGR Football. Click these videos to see more and subscribe to RGR Football.